We have a new update regarding Prince Harry's security and the UK, as well as the issue or the topic of bringing his family to the UK next week. There have been some changes and decisions made since the last time we spoke about this topic, and People magazine has the story, and they brought out all three of their top royal reporters for this update. So we got a lot to get into, and of course, I have a whole lot of opinions that unfortunately I could not wait until the end of the video to give in a final thoughts. Y'all, I was just rambling all up and through this article. We're going to have a good time, so let's get started. So this article is coming to us from People magazine, written by Simon Perry, Aaron Hill, and Stephanie Pettit. So they brought out all the big guns at People regarding the royal matters to talk about this topic. And that just kind of speaks to the fact that this is so up in the air and ambiguous right now. We're getting new updates every couple of hours regarding the security situation. And again, if people, I understand your comments. I've gotten some comments. It's like, this is so all over the place. It's so frustrating. I wish we could get a clear answer. I agree. It's not frustrating for me as much as it is disheartening, because if you guys are frustrated with the back and forth and the ambiguity because of obviously Ravek and I was about to say the White House child. Well, birds of a feather, because of the firm and how they're kind of, in my opinion, kind of breadcrumbing Harry. And I don't like how it feels to me from the outside looking in. I'm not inside, I don't know, but it just feels like they're continuing to use the security thing to hang over his head, almost like a little dark cloud, like dance kind of thing, like, oh, shoot at your feet, make you dance kind of thing. It's like they're trying their best to make this as convoluted and stressful and frustrating as possible for him. And again, this is how narcissists move. This is how those who are still upholding dysfunctional cycles behave and operate with those who step away from it. We are literally watching it on a very broad scale. And so every time you feel frustration, every time you get annoyed and say, oh my God, this issue is still going on, I want you to just remember that there are people with real lives who are hanging in the balance of these decisions, or should I say lack of decisions, and this indecisiveness. And it's all preventable, it's all avoidable, and it's all extremely unfair. And the people who are waiting for confirmation one way or the other because their lives hang in the balance, I just want you to remember how frustrating and how terrifying that must actually be for them. And please just say a little prayer for them. Or if you're not spiritual, no offense. I'm just saying, for those of you who are, say a little prayer for them, send up a little positive energy for them, and let's all just try to be supportive for them in this time, because I know that's frustrating as hell. Not only their safety and security, but the people who are attached to the things that they are working on, like Invictus. Think about all the people who are excited to go to Invictus and have all of this stuff hang over that. How unfair. My goodness. These are people who've already served their countries and have already suffered beyond words, and they're looking to come together in this empowering environment, supportive environment. And then of course the firm trying to abuse Harry is having an impact on Harry and his family, but also thousands of other people who've done nothing wrong as well. It's just a continuous cycle of abuse that is extending, and it's very far reaching. My heart goes out to Harry, the Sussex family, and everyone involved, because the Sussex family should be able to come and go as they please, safely and securely, and no one should be advocating to stand in the way of that. And if you are, I have a problem with you, not just because of what you're doing professionally, but I have a problem with you personally, because it takes a person without a soul and no respect for humanity to do something like what y'all are doing. Get out of the damn way. Let the man have his security back. Stop wasting everyone's time. Anyway, they're finding new and inventive ways to waste tax dollars. Let's get to the article, and then I'll give my opinion, or whatever's left of it, because I just handed it all over. I'll give my opinion at the end. The title of this article is Prince Harry to Travel to London Without Meghan Sussex. It took 3 of y'all to get her name wrong. Come on, people. Prince Archie and Princess Lilibet Diana. The Duke of Sussex will travel to London solo, People confirms, but the family's plans for the remainder of his UK trip remain undecided. Prince Harry's children won't be returning to London after all. People has learned on July 4th that Meghan Sussex, Prince Archie, and Princess Lilibet Diana will not accompany Prince Harry to London when he arrives in the UK next week. However, no decision has yet been made on whether the family will join the Duke of Sussex for other parts of his visit outside the capital. The update comes after Prince Harry and Meghan Sussex had hoped to bring Archie and Lilibet back to Britain for the first time since 2022, with Prince Harry determined to give his children the chance to experience the country where he grew up and potentially spend time with King Charles. King Charles is the least of my concern in this. I honestly don't care if those kids never see that man. A person who would be callous towards the safety of their parent, I don't know how valuable it is to have that person in those children's lives. That's just my opinion. Their absence from the London leg of the trip now raises questions about whether a family reunion will happen during the visit. Here's the thing. Prince Harry and Meghan are both doing all they can to manage this. They do everything with dignity. They bring everything that they work on or are involved with up to a certain standard, and they elevate it to the best of their ability. They have been nothing but classy, dignified, and understanding and patient throughout this whole thing. But there's only one side of this issue that can 100% eradicate the issue altogether if they wanted to, and if they wanted to see their family, they could. One word from the king, this would all be over. So how badly could he really want to play grandpa if he really won't just get rid of this? If he won't just call Ravek? Because yes, people who are part of Ravek also work for him. There are people who work with Ravek who are also, there are people who work for William who are also part of Ravek. Both of these men, if they truly wanted to just get out of the way, I'm not even saying help Harry, because at the end of the day, you should want to help your family. But I'm not saying to help Harry. I'm saying get out of his way. You are going out of your way to impede on what Harry is doing. You're going out of your way to make things difficult for Harry. So getting out of the way wouldn't be helping Harry necessarily. It would simply be undoing what you've been doing, which is a bunch of bullshit. Get out of his way. Get out of his family's way. If you guys want us to feel like Harry and Meghan and their family are just so irrelevant, why are you investing so much time and paying salaries to people who are part of Ravek, who are impeding on Harry's safety and impeding on his ability to bring his family where he needs to bring his family, to do the work you claim you value so much, the work that you're also not doing on your own, by the way. The least you could do is get out of the way while Harry comes and does it. My goodness. Also, think about what a slap in the face this is to all of the veterans who not only served with Harry or served under Harry, but also just served the crown in general. They look up to Prince Harry. Prince Harry is creating an avenue for them to feel empowered and supported and loved on, and y'all are in the way of that. How can anyone look at what's happening, not get frustrated with King Charles and William? I'm just, my goodness. We don't have enough eggs in this world for what I want people to do to those two. I want y'all to be clocking them upside of the head with boiled eggs every time y'all see them, but please don't do that. That's assault. Don't do that. I'm just saying. Sometimes I have to envision that in order to come down from my frustration. Let's continue. The family's plans have been complicated by ongoing security concerns. In a statement shared with People on June 29th, a spokesperson for the Duke of Sussex said the issue is whether appropriate and proportionate protective security is being provided throughout the entirety of the visit. While the king offered accommodations on a royal estate, the security arrangements would not extend beyond the property, which is unhelpful because they're not coming there to vacation on that property and just stay on that property. Prince Harry has stuff to do. A lot of very important work to do. This is one of those things. Remember when I said, maybe not, but a couple of weeks ago when I was talking about this, I said everything regarding King Charles and the firm always has these massive caveats. And that is intentional and by design. It's also very frustrating, but it is part of their loopholes. Hey, Harry, I'm going to help you, but there is a backhanded consequence to that. Hey, I'm going to announce the good side of what I'm offering you, but I'm going to go ahead and just whisper in the nomenclature that there are a lot of drawbacks and a lot of compromises I'm asking you to make. And one of them could be fatality. But anyway, at least I extended a property to you, right? And we're always omitting the fact that I could just stop doing what I'm doing and withholding your security in general. I shouldn't have to extend all these olive branches because I shouldn't have been doing things to break our relationship to begin with. I shouldn't have to give you back your security because I should have never taken it to begin with. I shouldn't have to offer you a royal estate because I should have never taken your house to begin with. See, this is how narcissists move. I'm going to offer you something, but boy, does it come with a price. I'm going to give you all this glowing love in public, but I'm treating you like hell behind the scenes. King Charles, we see you. And you produced your heir exactly like you. Two grown-ass men without enough to do and no morals and no humanity. Ugh, my goodness. Let's continue. At the time, the spokesperson said Prince Harry was continuing to explore every available option to enable the visit to proceed safely and to give his children the opportunity to enjoy the UK. The Duke and Duchess of Sussex were vacationing in Europe with the children ahead of the expected UK visit. Prince Harry is expected to travel to Britain as planned for a series of charity engagements, including events marking the 1 year countdown to the 2027 Invictus Games in Birmingham, as well as appearances supporting Well Child and Scotty's Little Soldiers. I hate that they are trying to make it hard for him to help people. It's a new type of low. And every time I think, how low can you go? They're like, grab my shovel, let me show you. They are all too happy to show us that they are the bottom of the barrel. And when they've gotten to the bottom of the barrel, they have no problem blowing the bottom out and going even lower. They're an outhouse, in my opinion. Prince Harry has long maintained that he does not feel it is safe to bring Meghan and their children to the UK after losing their taxpayer-funded police protection in 2020 when they stepped back from their royal roles and relocated to California. Got it. People understands that a review of Prince Harry's security arrangements by the Executive Committee for the Protection of Royalty and Public Figures, which could affect the level of protection he receives during the UK visits, had yet to conclude as of late June. What is there to deliberate about? Y'all already know they have had several credible threats placed against them and several credible attempts to harm them. There's not even a question. Again, I always add that because it just shows the gravity of the situation. But at the end of the day, he's a royal family member. Let's just get this done with already. Protect the man. Good God. Representatives for the Duke of Sussex say Rovek's own terms of reference call for a risk management board review at least once a year, but Prince Harry's last review was concluded nearly 7 years ago. My goodness, 7 years ago, I was living in Orlando. And that's of no consequence. I just have to put it into terms of like, my God, how much life has changed in a whole 7 years. That's insane. After losing his legal appeal against a government decision that stripped him of automatic police protection when visiting Britain, Prince Harry told the BBC in May 2025 that he couldn't see a world in which I would be bringing my wife and children back to the UK at this point. You know what's also weird is that people shame him for that, and I'm looking at those people kind of crazy, because let's say the people who are shaming him for trying to keep his family safe are also men with families. If I were their wives, I would be looking at them crazy. Like, do you not see that as part of your responsibility? Is that not something you value in this relationship? Come on, women, speak up if it's safe to do so. Speak up and question your husbands about this shit. Like, ask them, how do you feel about this? How do you feel about the loopholes, or not even loopholes, but the hurdles that the UK or King Charles and co. are creating for Prince Harry in order to keep his family safe? How do you feel about that? Does that bother you? Especially those of you who pay taxes there. Does that not bother you? Because I'm a married woman, I don't have children. I do have schnauzers, but I don't have children. But I expect my husband to do everything he can in his power and to fight like hell to protect me and these schnauzers. And I, in turn, would do the same. If the situation were occurring on my end and there was anything that could even remotely threaten my husband, it better hope he gets to him before I do. And that's kind of how I live my life. I love hard. I have a lot of empathy. And honestly, I'm actually slow to react to certain things. I just prefer to have a well-rounded approach. And so I often don't act out of anger or frustration. I kind of have a freeze trauma response. Sometimes even fawn. I can go very, very far left with it. But let me just say this. The moment I feel like a loved one is threatened in any capacity, I don't care what that threat looks like. If I feel like you are causing harm or intending to cause harm by a loved one for me, all that freeze and fawn shit is out the door. I will unzip this human suit so quick and turn into a wild boar on your ass. I can get really scary when someone threatens somebody I love. I don't play games. I remember one time my dad described me as territorial. And I was like, really? Really? And I was so shocked. And I called my husband and I was like, my daddy described me as territorial. Do you agree with that? And he said, I don't know if territorial is the right word, but you can be scary when you think someone is being harmed. You can be really scary. When you think it's your job to protect somebody, boy, do you do it. And first of all, now see, that's why y'all can't be having phone conversations, because you be up in my business instead of your own. But also, it just goes to show that we should all be protecting each other. We should all have that view, maybe not that stance, but should have that view of, if you are harming the innocent, you have to worry about me. But if you are harming my innocent, you might want to call Jesus, because it's about to be a problem. For people to look at Prince Harry and say what he's doing is overkill, I have to ask, would you allow your wife and children to be in harm's way willingly? Then you are not worthy of being a husband. And if you are a woman or a wife, I should say, because this is not synonymous, not all wives are women and not all, yeah, not all women are wives. But if you are a person who is married and you don't understand Prince Harry's plight, I'm looking at you crazy, because what are you with your partner for if not to have their back? And how could you stand by as people are toying with their very safety? That should be a line for you, in my opinion. That should be one of those things that's like, okay, I can compromise on a lot. I'm not compromising on safety and security. And you're not about to play in my face and call me sensitive just because I don't want to risk my wife and my children's lives. Now, see, Charles probably don't understand Harry on that front, because he did risk his wife's life several times. And look what happened. Well, albeit she was his ex-wife, but at the end of the day, you lay down with someone, you marry someone, you have children with someone, you build a life with someone, whether that relationship stays together or not, there's still a person you did all of this with. You should have some sort of affinity to that person where their safety matters to you. And one of the things that annoys me is when people talk about, oh, when Princess Diana passed away and King Charles had to go, or Prince Charles at the time had to go and spend time identifying the body, and he freaked out on hotel or hospital staff and was like, find her earring, find her shoe, find her. And he like freaked out because he was like, she wouldn't want to be here with one earring. And right. All that's fine and good. But at the end of the day, he was a party to stripping her security. So he clearly didn't care that much. Again, what I say, they have these moments where, oh, wow, it looks like they're so dedicated, but then they ignore the most basic shit. That's what bothers me. It's not the same, but again, it's another leg of how narcissists and abusers move in the public space. I know people who've thrown these lavish, big, beautiful birthday parties for people, and they bought them these big, lavish gifts in the public eye, and they put a big bow on it, and they do all these things like, oh, I bought my wife a house, and I bought my mom a car, and I paid for my daughter's college, and I did all this, but then behind closed doors, they treat them like shit. So then the public is like, well, how could he I don't believe he treats his wife like that, because look at what all he's done for her. I can't believe that he would she would treat her daughter like that. Look at all she's done for her daughter. Yeah, what you saw was all these special, glowing, dramatic, overkill moments. But behind closed doors, they treat them like shit. Back to the point and how I'm closing the loop on this. At the end of the day, telling the internet or telling your friends in the media, oh, I can't wait to be a grandpa. I can't wait to see my grandchildren. I'm doing all I can. I extended a property invitation to them. I allowed them to come, blah, blah, blah. When in fact, you're the reason they're jumping through these hurdles. So really, every time you extend help, you're only extending them help for a problem you made. There's nothing more frustrating than that. You're literally trying to create a trauma bond, creating a trauma, and then bonding over resolving that, or not resolving, but creating a workaround for that problem. I'm comforting you through the trauma I created. That's not noble. Thank you so much for watching the Sharion Sade YouTube channel. I appreciate you watching my content. If you haven't already, please don't forget to go ahead and like this video by hitting the thumbs up. Please don't forget to subscribe by hitting the subscribe button. And don't forget to comment along the way. If you feel so inclined, please don't forget to share so that more people can find us. Once again, thank you so much for watching. Now let's get back to the video. I see King Charles. This is nothing new. Mind you, Prince Harry doesn't have 400 pages of spare sitting on ice for no reason. Those pages aren't blank, you know. He was dealing with a whole system, not just a family system, which is bad enough, but a whole system and a firm built on dysfunction. The same system and firm that killed his mother. Every time this man takes the high road, y'all are asking too much of him. I think we should all take, not y'all who are listening to this, but I'm talking about the people who created the problems for Harry. This is why I defend Harry and Meghan the way I do, because my God, is this grief compounded? Is this trauma compounded? Yet he manages to rise above and take the high road. Which is why I use my reckless mouthpiece to talk shit on his behalf, because he has a lot more at stake than I do in this situation. So yes, I am ugly to those people because they're ugly to him. If they want me to get off their necks, and if they want people to stop throwing eggs at them at walkabouts, perhaps you should just get out of Harry's way. We're not even asking you to do the decent thing because you're not decent people. We're saying do the bare minimum and just get out of the way. Scooch out of the way. You don't have to do the performative, oh, you can stay at a royal residence. You don't have to do all of that. You don't have to sit around and declare how much you can't wait to be a grandfather despite being in the same country as your grandchildren and not spending near a minute with them. You don't have to do all that silly shit. What you could do is just get out the way. And if you really want to take it up a notch, and if you want to just exit my shit list for an afternoon, you could even do the decent thing and stop the security problems, stop leaking stories against them, and stop allowing your oldest son to bully him. And also, just have a word with that wife of his, because she lunged at Meghan, and she is always going to forever be on my shit list. That woman could announce 1 million diagnoses, and I'm still going to be like, well, you were still trying to fight Meghan for no reason. So I can have compassion without giving a damn. So anyway, let's get back. See, this is why I try not to talk about this when I have a lot of time on my hands. Because this morning, my morning is free because my husband's going to get a haircut. And I'm literally just sitting in my kitchen talking shit. Now, when I have other stuff to do, I have to keep it concise. And I have to kind of tidy it up with a bow. And I have to actually speak concisely. Y'all got a lot of time today. I have a lot of time today. And y'all are getting every minute of it, of just me falling down these rabbit holes, getting mad. Because if y'all knew how many things I was mad at the royal family about, y'all would be like, okay, Sharion, go spend some time on Chats and Chill, and then come back over here once you calm down. But again, how people can treat their family this way is beyond me. And part of me finds peace in that I don't understand what it is to be this callous. And another thing, y'all don't have to share if you don't want to. Please operate on your own, at your own comfort level. But something that I've noticed is whenever we do start really digging into the toxicity of the royal family and how so many of the things that Charles does are narcissistic behaviors, or at least narcissistic adjacent, how many of y'all have come in contact firsthand with those behaviors? And not only are you educated, informed, but you know from experience, and how so many of the things that he does to Harry are they trigger you on a personal level. My heart goes out to you. Anybody who can understand what Harry is experiencing on any level, my heart goes out to you. You don't deserve that. And shame on anybody who puts you in that position. Shame, shame, shame. In addition to that, every time we talk about this, I'm always surprised, but not, at how many people out there can relate. And this is also part of the reason why we have these discussions. Because I know sometimes people are like, oh, well, Prince Harry shouldn't, whatever, air his dirty laundry, which that is such a silly thing. That is a narrative and a mindset that is only built to protect abusers. So I don't subscribe to that. Oh, don't talk about your dirty laundry. It's not dirty laundry for me. It's their dirty laundry, not Harry's. Harry can't control what those people did. It's only dirty for the people who are throwing the dirt. And that's the abuser. If they wanted their laundry to be clean, perhaps they should stop getting their hands dirty. Perhaps they should operate like that. Anyway, can't be mad at Harry for saying, hey, you threw me lemons, I'm about to make lemonade. And by make lemonade, inform people of what it looks like when you're treated like this. Because do you know how many people have watched what happened with Harry and Meghan, or watched the Oprah interview, or watched Harry and Meghan, the docuseries, or read Spare and said, wow, I didn't even realize how much of this is relatable to me. I'm not royal. These are just humans. And this was happening to me. I didn't even realize the gravity of it, particularly when Prince Harry talks about the impact of therapy and the different modalities, and the different experiences he's had, and he's experienced with therapy as a patient, how much that has helped him. But I also say too, just him being extremely open-minded offered a lot of experiences for him that I think were extremely helpful. And there's something to be said about being open-minded and not prejudging things before actually giving it a shot, because he's benefited greatly from that. But also look at how he has completely changed the trajectory of Meghan and his children's lives by doing what was necessary to undo the harm and undo the toxicity that he was raised with. All of us should be on our own personal journeys to remove the things that we were entrapped by so that we can live freely and provide that to our families and our kids. Anyway, like I said, I'm at this kitchen table just going off. Let me get back on topic, y'all. My bad. After losing his legal appeal against a government decision that stripped him of automatic police protection when visiting Britain, Harry told the BBC, I already read that, quote, the things that they're going to miss is, well, everything, he added, of his children. I miss the UK. I miss parts of the UK. Of course I do. I think that it's really quite sad that I won't be able to show my children my homeland. I think it's sad too, Prince Harry. Prince Archie was born in the UK and introduced to the world with a photo call at Windsor Castle shortly after his birth in May of 2019. Archie also joined his parents at a polo match over the summer, and he joined them on a royal tour of South Africa in September of 2019, where he met Archbishop Desmond Tutu. However, Archie has remained largely out of the public eye since Meghan and Harry stepped back from their royal roles in 2020 and relocated to California. They love that so much they put it in two different parts of this article. The Duke and Duchess of Sussex welcomed their daughter, Princess Lilibet Diana, in 2021 after relocating to the US, and she previously only visited her dad's home country in 2022 when the family returned to the UK for Queen Elizabeth's Platinum Jubilee celebrations. During that trip, Prince Harry and Meghan Sussex celebrated their daughter's first birthday with a backyard party at Frogmore Cottage, their former residence, and released an official photo of Princess Lilibet from the event. While Prince Harry and Meghan have shared photos of Prince Archie and Princess Lilibet over the years, including on Meghan's Instagram page since rejoining the social media platform in early 2025 and in promotional images for As Ever, the children's faces are usually obscured from from view to protect their privacy. Quote, Prince Harry has been reluctant to show his children publicly, not out of a desire to hide them, but to protect their privacy and safety from potential threats. A friend previously told People. He wants them to lead as normal a life as possible without the fear of kidnapping or harm. Now, I've seen people criticize them for this. Again, people are going to criticize Harry and Meghan for breathing oxygen. So that's going to happen. But something that I want to remind people of is that Archie and Lilibet go to school. And they go to school with children who also have parents who may or may not share in some of these beliefs of the people who are online trolling and bots, and also people who have posed credible threats against them. They don't know everybody in proximity to them. And they can't vet every single human being in proximity to those in proximity to them, or those in proximity to those people in proximity. You get what I'm saying? And so keeping their kids' faces offline protects them in a multitude of ways. But also, when your kid is exposed to the outside world through teachers and the family and friends of teachers and the parents and family and friends of other students and the family and friends of other faculty and staff, etc., you see how far this goes. If they can recognize them on sight and they have ill intent, that puts them at a severe disadvantage. And so keeping their faces offline is essential for their safety. And I think instead of criticizing them for finding a way to protect their children amidst credible threats, I think it's important to know, where's the root of this? I think it's sad that they have to do that anyway. It's their choice, and I support their choice, but I hate that they even had to make a decision like that, because there should be no threats against them, but especially not children. So I think if you're going to criticize that, I think you should criticize the root of it, not the action, because they can only do so much, and damn, are they doing the best they can, and I'm proud of them, and they get all my support. So I feel like I've shared my opinion at length. I feel like there's no opinion left. I gave you every last drop. I feel like at the end of the day, while this is kind of a back and forth right now, these are plans that are developing in front of us. So yes, things will change. One day we'll think something's happening, and the next day we won't. I will also say, the less we know as the public, again, the better. And so this is where we are right now. Who knows? This could change at the drop of a dime. If someone decided to, I'm going to have 1 hour where I'm a decent human being, they could change all of this for the better. But I am asking for a lot from egg 1 and egg 2. So those are my thoughts. You guys let me know what you think in the comment section below. If you haven't already, please feel free to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hype the video. I'm trying to remember to say that because I didn't even know that was a thing a couple of weeks ago. But feel free to hype the video if you'd like, so it can get more traction. But more importantly, I am looking to read your comments, and feel free to share so that more people can find us. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see y'all next time. Bye.